Map 1 had its twists and turns. Renegades had their chances, but Isurus Gaming took it on Dust 2. And now we move to Mirage. Pretty simple for Renegades. Win this or you are gone. I'm Vince, joined by Dust, and we're just about to jump into Map 2. How's it going, man?
Going pretty good. Yeah, it's the whole lose to and barbecue situation, Vince. And there's a lot of good barbecue in Dallas, Texas, but I think he'd rather play Counter-Strike. And fortunately for Renegades, they're on Mirage. Matt, they're very, very strong on their best map offline. Very impressive results. Have beaten teams like Navi and Astralis at different points in time this year. So definitely a big strength of theirs. But it's also a map that Isurus are fine playing, so could be interesting. Another big thing to point out, Vince, these teams did play each other at EPL just, a couple of weeks ago. And Renegades won that series 2-0. One of the maps they won on were Dust 2, which they won 16-4. Yet here, they've gotten the raw end of that deal. So will it happen on Mirage as well? Will it be the reverse of what happened a couple of weeks ago? So we are getting in with the pistol. Not sure what's happening with Vince, but I'll take over for a moment here. We do have a big attack onto the big bomb fight from Renegades, and some great pistol work from the Faction will open up the doors. Lots of exchanges, but it's left Notsky alone in a 1v2. He's very low, and he's boxed in, but he's found one. Luckily for Renegades, Liaz comes in the clutch. 3 kills in total for him. A very scrappy round. Renegades do come out on top.
Sorry about that. My microphone decided again just to not work. I think my my voice activation is a bit messed up. I'll touch on that in a few moments. Apologies. But yeah, Renegades off to a good start. As you say, certainly favorites coming into this. Off past results, certainly favorites, but we do need to see more from JKS. I think that's a fair statement. He is normally a player that's going to be at the top of that scoreboard, going to be doing crazy things, and we really didn't see him on Dust 2 at all.
Certainly not. Off the grass faction, get that off line. A couple of big misses there in the second half, but True with the wheel into this round.
He's going to get 2 for himself, down to 4 HP. Are still ways back into this for Isurus Gaming. They've got a scout. We saw what kind of ability that has of turning rounds on its head, and Noxy gonna put a bullet down range onto Faction. Misses out onto Jacob, who is dangerously low on 21 HP. They have control of the bomb. It hasn't been planted. There's a smoke for Noxy. Does allow him the luxury of moving around, but that's just into the arms of Azza, who is on the flank round kitchen. UMP now picked up for Max. Does still have a Molotov. With time on the side of Renegades, they don't have to make any knee-jerk reactions just yet. They can wait. They can see if Mac puts himself into a dangerous spot first. Heads round, but seemingly like it's going to go the distance. Max doesn't need to peek until he hears that bomb being planted. Neither of Renegades want to go for this. They want to have one player on the high ground. And now Liaz has dropped down to help Jacob out. And there's the spray. Max wasn't too far off on that frag, and it could have put things into a dangerous position for Renegades, but they are going to get the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, it was a little bit tense with that bomb going down the way that it did, but Renegades played it patient in the 2 versus 1. Slowly cleared out the site, got possession of the bomb, and then eventually just got the frag when they needed it in the end. So they've weathered the storm with the 4 spy, something they struggled to do multiple times on their T side of Dust 2. They've got it done here. Isurus will be just taking a full save, a 5-man stack on the A bomb site, which Renegades might run slapdown into, it looks like. A lot of gathering up here towards the A side. So this could get a little interesting.
Especially with the headshot being put in instantly from Noxy. Jacob with 2. There's a team kill as Liaz Max's mate in the back of the head. But just going to be the 2 frags. Not bad from Isurus Gaming, but Renegades at least building some steam.
Yeah, and Renegades are really deep on this map, Vince. It's probably one of their best maps tactically. Really good default roles. JKS being able to work the A side of the map solo, either aggressively or passively. Good timing player, knows what to do. Liaz working the B apartments, being more supportive. Again, Azza and Jacob going to be the guys really looking to create the openings. With Gratis Factions, AWP, of course, going to be in the mix. So very good at default mid control, but they can also throw tricky little plays in for pacing changes and to catch their opponent off guard. They're very flexible, but Mayern has gotten so lucky there through the smoke against Gratis Faction. Gifted pretty much a free frag. That's going to give them such an early advantage.
Yeah, it really is. That's a lot of utility that also falls with him. So now they've only got 2 smokes to play with. It does have a reverberating effect landing a shot like that. Gonna be able to go back and pick up the bomb his answer though. Yeah, you really highlighted just how brutal that is a start for Renegades. Gratisfaction, one of their better players, getting smacked down in such a way that may force Renegades into an aggressive play in retaliation to just try and take control of this round.
Yeah, they're just going to go for an A set piece now. Maybe have Liaz come underpass and help connector later. They do have some good smokes for A. They actually have a little bit of a different stair smoke usually that helps them get a little bit more out of it. So that comes into play. They'll just standard stuff. And Natsuki, he was not smoked off at CT, so he gets the op frag.
He gets still frag from himself. Molotov down at the back of the site. And of course, Max out into the open, into JKS. Noxy. He's able to at least take the head of Jacob, and now it's down to JKS. A man that's been struggling at Dallas does get one to add to his other, but Isurus gonna get their first round on Mirage.
Yeah, just limited utility for Renegades. They couldn't block off Natsuki's op, just sitting at ticket booth. He was actually a little bit quiet in comparison to Max and Mayern, normally kind of the second best player after Mayern. But he's off to a hot start here. 7 kills already in 4 rounds played, so almost 2 a round. So that's exactly what you want from your opper who, you know, the CT side opting of Mirage, if you can be dynamic enough, change up your positioning, there's so many opportunities for oppers on CT. You don't have to just play mid from window. You can play connector, you can be aggressive palace, you can play from cat or B apartments. You can really make it difficult. You know, device is kind of the perfect illustration of that, where, you know, being mobile on the CT side can really make it difficult on terrorists to calculate where they're going to have to worry about that risk. And Renegades into this round will have very little to deal with that AWP, just a few deagles. Not much utility or armor going to be in this one.
Deciding to go for more of a deco with Gratisfaction just holding fire with a Glock. Of course, he wants the AWP as soon as possible. Going to keep those funds going forward. Without any nades though, Dust, you have to assume that Renegades are going to be pivoting purely off just those 1D entries. Otherwise, this round is going to be so tenuous, going to be so difficult to get any kind of grasp over. Especially as Max is going to meet them in underpass. There was a moment where you thought maybe he'd go down without much of a fight, and that weapon would trade hands, but a 1-for-1 exchange is going to be good enough for Isurus. Other 2 players getting onto A site, setting up for more of a retake. They felt like they had to take the initiative and press the aggression. JKS with a crispy headshot, but it's only Jacob remaining. He's nowhere near enough space to make the most of that. How has he only lost 24 HP for that headshot? In fact, it wasn't even a headshot, he's bodied him. Noxy, though, doesn't care. He's going to pick up a second round, but it was a great cost for Isurus.
Indeed it was. Now we're going to get back to a full buy. And again, JKS, he needs to come online. He's done well so far this half. Definitely really important being that solo A player to help trade openings or play out the timing plays. Now finally an MVP for Gratisfaction. You expect he'll probably go for default mid control again and give him some time to go to work, but actually they're going to change up the pace right away. Something at A, really heavy hand at the solo mid, but already just coming back through T spawn. It's going to be up to Max and Natsuki and Mayern's rotation to defend. Lots of utility for Renegades to isolate the bomb site. Max could get cut off from any support if he stays on default bombs. Oh, that's a bunch Molotov. That's JKS's Molotov. Not something out of Cloud Palace.
Indeed he does. It's going to be pushing out of ramp. If he's get a 1-for-1, this is where having that second avenue of aggression from JKS has been so massive. Coming out of Palace. Now that there's a smoke screen implemented though, Renegade's going to start to find headshots. JKS leading the charge. Reversive in 1962 have the difficult goal ahead of them of retaking this site that hasn't been planted on just yet, and that's the bomb getting dropped. 1962, the aggressor once more. Jacob finally gonna finish off what he starts, and JKS does get the assist in as well. Versus spotted and fragged. Renegades get back into winning ways.
Yeah, I mean, Renegades is a very good default to Mirage, and that's really their bread and butter. And I imagine Isurus have probably, you know, watched some Renegades demos, knowing that this is Renegades' top map, knowing that they weren't going to ban it, and they were probably going to have to play it. And they would have, you know, seen if they watched their demos that, yeah, Renegades really favors mid control. They're really strong at mid-round protocols and making, you know, mid-round reads off of it. So we need to be able to make sure that we're, you know, playing retake or, you know, just countering the extremities or doing what we need to do to try to, you know, disrupt them and cause them grief. But what Renegades has been doing here is they've opened up the game much differently. They've really favored these A executes. They've really had Jacob and Asa coming alive on these entries. Even though JKS kind of fudged a Molotov and ruined his chances to assist the early part of the round, he was still able to have impact later on. And now Isurus, his money is in the bin right now. After just go USP, this is where Renegades can really start establishing their lead here on the T side. Remember, they need this map. If they lose, they're out the tournament.
That's exactly what's ahead of them. The finish line of this map will be another one. Molotov out from Asa. Onto the balcony. Flashbang behind it. Full USPs on Isurus. They do have a flashbang they're going to toss over. Does land in the eyes of Jacob. He's still able to spray himself in. There's 2 kills going the way of Isurus Gaming, and this is where the superior firepower. Now the flashbangs are no longer an issue. Should prevail, and they do. And Renegades take a 5-2 lead.
It's also just good utility uses from Renegades there. I mean, not only are they doing the standard smokes on stairs, jungle, and CT spawn, which is just kind of a staple of the map, but they're also taking that extra care to get the Molotov where it needs to be. You know, mollowing out sandwich, mollowing out bench so no one can actually push the smoke. Just those little extra things can really help limit the angles you have to worry about, so you can kind of focus your cone of vision on particular areas and have an easier time. Now Isurus are back onto a full buy. Natsuki with the AWP, he's been really good so far this half. 11 kills, so now he'll have his primary weapon to have impacts. Same with Mayern, who had just a blinder of a game on Dust 2 with the AUG. But again, Renegades changing it up. They're going to go for a B apartments attack now.
Certainly respect how many pages in this playbook they have. Versus tries to tear it out. 1962 doing a solid job of holding the line with the AUG. They're peeking out one by one. That is suicide. And Isurus Gaming gonna handily push away this tactic. Az is still alive and kicking though. Coming into window, Noxy would have heard that, realizes, okay, look, we've got control of the bomb. Let's not give my life away, because it'll put it into a 2-on-1, and also I'll potentially lose the AWP. Let's play for the bigger picture here. Let's play a little bit more passively. But Az is having none of it. He'll take the fight to Noxy. And he's still got time to play some mind games. He doesn't have to fully commit to kitchen. He can go back into window. He can start to make a move on shorts. Try and split these 2 players up into 1v1s. This is a really good position from 1962, though. He doesn't have to show his hand from either kitchen or shorts. So he'll take the contact. If Asa decides to push, he comes around the corner. This is actually on the table, but it's been taken away from Mayan. What an effort by Asa, though. Take a bow. That was such a nice drive.
He made very, very much out of nothing there, but not quite what he needed. Feels like some of Renegades plays are starting to be a little bit more telegraphed. He's serious once they see the utility, they know what's coming. They haven't had to worry about mid control yet. They haven't had to worry about any fakes, so they've been able to just kind of catch on and defend. That was a really good initial hold. They made it closer in the end, sure, but the initial hold was great. And now look at this, Mayern changing it up. No longer passive at ticket booth, aggressing A-ramp, catching Jacob. Natsuki catching Gratisfaction out in the middle. This is not going well for Renegades, who were actually slowing it down this round, and now they've been busted on multiple fronts.
It'll be very disappointing for Renegades knowing that the economy was tantalizingly close to being broken down from Isurus after that collapse in the last round. Liaz at least going to give them pause for thought with a CZ headshot onto Noxy in window. They haven't seen the bomb just yet either, so they can't take anything for granted here, Isurus, but everything seemingly going their way. They still have a bit of utility as well. Couple Molotovs. Liaz around the corner, lands another headshot, down to only 71. He can't quite grab a hold of that weapon just yet, but with the smoking window, may be able to traipse out and upgrade the CZ. This is starting to get scary for Isurus.
No, it truly is. JKS with another one there onto Mayer, and Liaz might find himself one on reversive. At least they have the information of where these CTs are now, and then AK will get picked up by Liaz. That'll get recycled forward. He's got the armor and health to make great use of it. It's all on this MP9 for Max on the close angle. Will they check it?
Firepower is far in the favor of Renegades. It's 2 AKs against an MP9 and the UMP. They do check it. Bit of damage goes through. But Lies up to the task. Reversive must be so gutted. Guys, how did it get down to this? It was what, a 3-on-5 and then a 2-on-4, I think?
Yeah, I think
In fact, I think
right.
it was a 2-on-5. I actually think this was a 2-on-5.
It was definitely at least a 3-on-5, yeah. Well, we'll see. What can Reversive do?
May get his first kill, but JKS has heard him. He picks up 2. Liaz with 3. A Renegades. They've pulled the rabbit out the hat.
And the money is just straight up shit, Vince. It's not there. Isurus are in for a rough ride this next round. Though, to be fair on Dust 2, they had plenty of antics on Force 5s that gave Renegades a lot of problems. The main reason why they lost that map, it felt like. But Renegades, like you said, pulling one out when they needed it big time. Great play there from Liaz and JKS. A mid push from Isurus here.
It will be a massacre. And it's an ace. An eco ace from JKS. Solid work, but probably one of the easiest aces you could ever ask for in Counter-Strike.
Yep. Except for maybe like what Zywoo's yesterday on A ramp and everyone was mated down to 10 HP anyway. He just kind of sprayed down 5. So, indeed, you love him. It's a confidence booster, though, at the very least, when you flash up your scoreboard that you're at 15 kills in 10 rounds played. So maybe that'll at least help mind right after a tough first map. But look at this, Renegades changing the pace again. Try peeking up A ramp.
Straight in, Max. Let's get a footstep. No one checks the firebox there at the beginning. But normal service has resumed. There's Renegades having a 2-1 advantage in manpower. Another kill, slight gap in the smoke. Jacob could see the feet of Noxy, converts it into the kill. Gratisfaction, spotting Reversive from CT side, and Isurus, hot off the back of dipping into the bank balance and bringing out some guns, have been dealt with swiftly. This is pretty much the worst case scenario for it. Just a couple rounds ago, they had a 2v5 slip away from them.
Very, very true. And what you're seeing right now, Vince, is what we were discussing earlier. The strengths of Renegades Mirage, their best map in their pool on land, how deep they are, what Kassad's brought as a coach, how Az has developed as an in-game leader. Just being able to, you know, play the foundations of the map with mid-control, but also throw in these mixed executes. And it's been so many variations at A. They've done, you know, the heavy utility, kind of methodical rollouts, and now there you just have the fast drive feed. So it makes it so hard to read them when you play against them, when you know that they're just capable of so very much, and they can mask what they're doing pretty well. It's going to be an uphill battle for Isurus, especially now that they're just on USPs across the board once again. They've not had any virus this happens.
They really haven't. Even in the rounds that they have won, they've been conceding multiple deaths. Yep. Last player left has landed a headshot onto Azza. Not able to get his gun though. And that is going to be all she wrote. Renegades commanding 9-3 lead.
JKS has already got 20 kills. I mean, you'd be happy to have 20 kills at the end of the game, much less 12 rounds in. If he keeps that up, man, he could have a monster game.
Quite a turnaround from Dust 2 as well. It's good to see for JKS. Double ups though, Dust. Isurus finally get their hands on a really solid fight. Can they make it stick though?
Yeah, Maynard certainly did really well to second MVP on Dust 2. A very versatile player, very mechanically gifted for such a young player. This is where he needs to step up to the plate. He was a monster on Dust 2. He's been a little bit more quiet here on Mirage so far. I imagine that should change. What does Renegades want to do, though? Looks like they're changing it up again. Mid-control established, Azza tucked in. And the rest are heading towards B apartments for the split, and Azza could just kind of be the trump card a little bit later, sneaking. He has window control. An Opera right next to him on the other side of the wall. It's a bit awkward.
As you say, though, he really is the trump card. If things are going a little bit weary, look for Azza to have a huge impact in this round. If he doesn't get found by Noxy beforehand, but as soon as the engage comes on B, Noxy may move out towards kitchen, and that's when Azza will strike. That's where he'll pounce. Flashes and nades. Gonna be raining onto the site. Entry goes the way of Jacob. Now Noxy's gonna move, and there's Azza to deal with him and Mayan. It's all worked out perfectly. Beautiful terrorist counter-strike from Renegades.
It's just the timing of how Azza got into a window being undetected. Normally, you're going to hear him jump in. I'm not sure if Notsky just was, you know, at ticket or something when Azza got in, and then he rotated and it was already too late. But whatever the case may be, those little sneaky plays, those little added variations to Renegade's tactics are getting them so much. And Jacob, again, he has been such a great pillar for Renegade since he's joined. Being that entry fragger, he's back to a role he's comfortable with, and he's definitely impactful. Big entry on B to help that along. Again, another essentially save from Isurus. Trying to get aggressive on the capacity. Apartments on Liaz, but Liaz is handling it just fine.
Well, we saw on Dust too. He's quite the master of spray. That's pretty solid work. Max the only player to find a kill. Renegades off to a triumphant half. 11 rounds, potentially 12 coming up. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's good to see Liaz performing. I know that he's had tough times on Renegades since joining the team. He was such a promising player within Australia when he was playing for teams like Order and Kings. He was having really ridiculous numbers. Since he's joined this team, he's had a tougher time. He's had to play a much different role. Still can contribute at times.
The flash is used, and Isurus going to try and take control over middle. Jacob with 2. One of them was a molly frag onto Matt. Versive smoked out, but can just use the smoke to find gratisfaction. That's the bomb in mid. And the remaining stragglers of Liaz and JKS, both on the A side. Good flashbang, but Liaz still gets tagged from Noxy. Fortunately for him, it was a leg shot. Noxy's going to have to pull back from Molotov. Can't quite do it in time, so the flames will engulf him. But this is where the bomb position is so brutal for JKS. It's an easy hole, but they're actually playing this one fairly individually. Reversive is just watching the murder hole while his teammates at top mid. With a minute to go, though, Dust, he can go around catwalk. This could catch them off guard.
Yeah, I don't know that Reversive would have heard him pass by. I think if Reversive would have held a slightly different angle, he could have seen if JKS was walking in the market, but he hasn't. Now he's going to peek, but it's already too late. It's already been done. So Reversive has no idea where JKS is. Meanwhile, JKS is indeed seeking around. Will 1962 really think that he's getting flanked? I mean, he's definitely staring in that direction here and there, so it's all going to come down to timing. You know, what angle does JKS peek from, and where is 1962's crosshair placement at that moment?
At this point, JKS is going to realize there's a very high probability that somebody's on the middle boxes. It's all about that second player.
He's ruined.
He's only got 20 seconds left, so he's going to have to be quick here. He's not just going to go straight to the bomb. Oh my goodness, I thought he was going to go straight to the bomb afterwards, but Reversive does go for the peak with low time, and 11-4 will be the scoreline. We'll find out if Isurus can bounce back and potentially take this best of 3 after a short break. Don't go anywhere. Will be a few moments. It could be the last half of Counter-Strike that Renegades will play at DreamHack Masters Dallas, but if that were the case, Isurus Gaming would have to pull off one hell of a comeback, and it has to start right here, right now, in this second pistol round. I'm Vince, once again joined by Dust. I'm just about to jump into the second half. Surely, though, Renegades can convert from here, Dust.
You would certainly hope so. I mean, again, Renegades did beat Isurus on Mirage just a couple of weeks ago on LAN for an EPL group, and in that situation, it was a pretty similar story. You know, a big T-side half from Renegades in the first half. They got 10 rounds the last time they met. This time they got 11, so one better. Isurus was able to put up a little bit of a fight on their own T-side, though, in that game. Just eventually closed out, though, by Renegades. I think the final score on that was 16-9, so we'll see how this one fares, if it's a different fate. Again, Renegades must win to keep this going. If a third map was needed, which it's looking pretty likely, it's going to be Inferno as the final battleground, the classic map 3.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Like, Inferno always seems to toss up some crazy deciding maps with overtimes and close games and nail biters. So it'll be cool to see that again. And then, of course, this is just the start of today's proceedings. We have 2 more best of 3s after this matchup. The next one being Nip vs Vitality here on the B stream, which is a mouth-watering prospect, albeit with Pete there.
Yeah. You are indeed right, Vince. It's a marathon for us, Vince. Lots of casting. Had a long one yesterday as well, and we'll have a long one again tomorrow, I imagine.
Yeah, but you gotta love it. It's always good to be
involved. Love the long
involved.
one, Vince.
Sound.
The long games, of course.
Yeah, that's what you meant, definitely.
Absolutely. You know what I
Oh,
also
sure.
love, Vince? Not
What's
having
that?
to cast Dust 2 again. It's already gone. We've done it in the first map. So we're
Yeah,
guaranteed not to have to do it again in the series. We've casted so chat, you have to understand that Vince and I just casted way too much Dust 2 lately. We casted so many Dust 2 games at Tor. Especially that
yeah.
first day.
At
All three
Tor
Dust
the
at
first
once.
day, all of our matches were on Dust 2. And then I think every other best of 3 had a Dust 2 apart from the grand finals.
Yep.
So yeah, we've seen enough Dust 2 for a little while. Always good to see Inferno. I personally love casting that map. Mirage is always super fun to cast as well. Overpass is probably my favorite. What's your favorite map to cast, actually,
I
Dust?
think
While
it's
we're waiting
Mirage,
for you?
actually. That's why I
Mirage,
hate
yeah.
when so many people are against Mirage. They keep saying, oh, that's like the next one that needs to go. Because it's so stale, it's overplayed, it's figured out, it's boring. It's like, man, this is the most versatile map in the pool, in my opinion. Like, Terrace can play it so many different ways, whether it's like default mid control or whether it's set pieces for each site with, you know, heavy utility. There's so many different smoke wall variations for each bomb site that can be thrown. You can also just do like the dry, fast plays. So there's just so much play, and even for the CT side, there's so much play. You know, like, the oppers can be so dynamic. You can go for aggression on ramp. You can, you know, obviously play very aggressively on middle or push underpass, or, you know, double op can have so many different variations. There's so many different ways to play Mirage for both sides that I feel like it just provides for great games because you never know what you're going to get. I feel like this is the map where you really truly feel out the identity of a team. You figure out how aggressive they are, how passive they are, what they like to do most. I think this is the map where you really get to see that in action, like get to see the nature of a team. So I love Mirage, man.
I really
An ode
enjoy
to
casting
Mirage.
it, but I feel like I've just played it so much that I don't enjoy
Yeah.
playing it as much anymore. But that being said, we are live into the second half now, seeing if Isurus can pull this back and really turn a lot of heads. If they beat Renegades 2-0, that would be quite the upset, quite the result. Gratisfaction, going to be peeking mid, does have the bulk of the utility on the side of Renegades. They really need him to stay alive for the latter stages of this round if bomb plants go down. Jacob's smoked out, has to turn tail, get back into jungle. But Max is going to take this opportunity to go through the smoke, catches Jacob off guard. He is the bomb carrier as well, so that's a huge kill for Isurus Gaming. It could have really put the cat amongst the pigeons for this round if Renegades got it going their way. Gratisfaction now spotting players, darting back and forward on the murder hole, but it's Azza that puts the final nail in the coffin for 1962. And now the retake can start to come in. There is a flank as well from Liaz. He's made a move up through ramp, the backside. If he can find Mayan and get this kill clean, it really puts this round back on, but he nearly whiffed it. It's actually JKS that takes the kill. No idea how that's happened. And now the CTs are swarming on the site. They have the kit in the hands of Azza, but he's very low. He actually has to turn away and live to fight another day. Instead, it's going to be Liaz that steps up tall. He's going to be going in for the shank and sticks it in the backside of Reversive while Renegades get the bomb defused. It's going to be a 12-4.
Well, it's a shank, Vince, so that means a shoey. Get out there, Australian fans. And it's 12 rounds now for Renegades. A little bit dicey flank from Liaz, as you noted, but they still get the round done in the end. Isurus with that bomb plant will go super heavy-handed. AKs across the board, save for not skiing reversive on the Deagles. They're going to go for something hard and fast at A. They have just enough utility for a basic execute. Not going to have anything to hold off the retake, though. And the utility of Renegades is really slowing them down and also chipping their health away massively.
Yeah, it's going to play up close in the smoke. He knows they may push this one. It's going to be a bloodbath. He's going to get two. Max's position is known, and Nocti will join him, hoping that there's strength in numbers. But even that's not working in Isurus' favor. They are stacked 2v4. Jacob down to 6. Flashbang through onto ramp. Or pardon me, jungle. Not really going to yield too much. At least one flash has been thrown in retaliation. Two more going to be stacked up. Gratisfaction hasn't been able to see anything for quite some time. Now it's going to clear. He's being pushed. Close range Noxy. Is he going to check this angle? Yes, he will. And he will get the reward with the kill. But this is where Az's position up in Palace is so vitally important for Renegades. He can rain down pain from Palace. There's one, and he doubles up. Renegades take the 13-4. The force buy does not pay out for Isurus.
Indeed, it doesn't, Vince. And now the money's really low. They kind of have to give Renegades 14 for free and make sure that they can buy up fully to challenge Renegades when they go for a map point. Luckily for Isurus, they had the safety net of a third map, having one Dust 2. So the stress isn't as much for them. So of course, they'd love to be able to still keep the dream of a 2-0 alive. It's just not going to happen in this round unless we get another throwback to Dust 2 where their force buys were oh so deadly, particularly on the T side, all those deep tunnels pushes.
You love to see the South American flair. It's always great to see the pizzazz that these players possess, but when a force buy falls flat like that, it really doesn't give you many options in this round. It's basically just pistols and hoping for the best. Renegades, though, they did have quite a few slips and slides on Dust 2 when it was against eco rounds on T side, but this is a whole different ball game, and it feels like to me that they are building in confidence. 1962, though, gonna
His
cave in
pistols,
Lias.
man. His pistols
He's a
have been
beast.
so stupid this series. Like, they've been really on point, man. He's not like the big name on the team, but his pistol work has been what's caused a lot of problems for Renegades.
I've been so impressed with his Deagle work in particular. He is such a good player with Desert Eagle. JKS, though, well, it's going to be a case of Isurus running into their demise at this stage. Bomb not under control. 1962 with a Desert Eagle. There's another one. Could we be witnessing Counter-Strike history with this Deagle? It would be one of the finest rounds that we've seen, but no. Renegade's going to take a 10-round lead at 14-4.
Man, that guy's just so deadly. Have AKs this time. Mayern still hasn't bought yet, but probably going to be AK armor for him as well. He's only the guy that plays outside of the A-bomb site or a bit of a second entry fragger, so you feel like he needs to come alive if the comeback is ever going to have any real wind behind its sails. We'll have Sig actually coming into this. Will he be playing outside the A-bomb site? So default here for Isurus. For the most part, though, a little bit more presence towards the apartments.
Versiv's going to dart past the Molotov. Does take a bit of damage. There's a HE that smacks him down to 41 HP. And he decides, okay, yeah, I'll concede this. I'm out, yeah. I'm tapping out of it.
He's been evicted from the apartments, Vince.
He has, forcefully. Jacob. To be the landlord of Connector. The Molotov's there. Too hot for him to handle. He's out. So, this little game of chess is falling upon the battlefield with both teams taking little pieces here and there. But nothing too significant from Isurus, and they've taken a lot of damage in the process. Two of their players lumbering their way, flash in to Connector. They're not going to follow up on that, and actually Jacob gets swarmed. He thought the timing was perfect. JKS now, though, is able to come out swinging with 2 headshots, make it 3, and a 4th! What a, oh my goodness, the AK work there is so sick! What a play from JKS, 33 frags.
You know, they call him a savage more than just because it's his last name, Vince. It's because he's able to pull off plays like that. Such a strong anchor player on the CT side. Even when the pressure's coming, when his teammates are falling, he can still stand because he's got the big brains and knows how to work those angles. He's up to 33 kills this game. Such a difference from what we saw on Dust. Exactly what this team needed, and now they may be putting this map away. It's an eco push basically into upper. It's all that they can afford, but it's not much. They're already falling.
Like it's the beginning of the end of Mirage. It's been circling the drain for a while. Renegades looking to put a merciful end to what has been a savaging. Max does bounce back, but it's going to be 16-4. Renegades on their choice of map. Gonna get it convincingly. Where was this JKS on Dust 2?
Not sure. I mean, we saw a banging one from Isurus on Dust 2, but more of a whimper here on Mirage. But that's all good. They won the first map, so they've ensured that a third is around the corner, which indeed is going to be Inferno. Again, we appreciate all of you for tuning in. This is Dust and Vince here. If you want to go to follow Point Casters in the chat. But without further ado, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to finish off this thing. We're going to knock out this first best of 3. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be back in a bit.